and seeing so many familiar faces in the guys and the girls. And yeah, so
you're talking to a camera.
Oh, that's it. So, the title of my talk is called No More Bakeries, Daycares, Fashion Lines, Training Centers for Cupcakes, Please. And this is the unofficial motto of a program that I run 90 kilometers north of here called VentureLab. What we do in VentureLab is we take teams of students, staff, faculty, and now any of you who have an idea and you want to turn it into a business, and we essentially walk you through the steps of what it takes to create a new venture. And actually, we have two members of VentureLab here tonight from our startup team, so that's pretty cool. So if anyone's going to fact check me tonight, don't ask Ben. So what do we do? The first thing we do in VentureLab is we force people to get as uncomfortable as possible. So if most of our ideas come from new experiences, then it's very important for us to challenge our teams, even though they come in with an idea, to kind of take off the blinders, step back, and really challenge the idea itself, and see, like, I don't know, just get out there, see what else we can come up with. So it's like my uncle says, you know, what you have to do in life is put yourself in as many uncomfortable situations as possible so that you can learn from that. To give you an example here, in VentureLab this semester, we had two guys spend the night in Saudi jail chained together. That's a true story. But that's not what we're talking about when we say, like, get uncomfortable. That just, like, that was a kind of freak incident. The next thing we do is we encourage our participants to take risks. So this comes in many different forms, right? So how many of you here consider yourselves, like, geeky entrepreneurs? Or, like, would like to be a part of a startup? Okay, so okay, girls. Okay. What we do when you are putting together your idea, validating it, there's a number of uncomfortable, back to that word, situations you need to be in. Whether that is learning how to communicate your idea, not being afraid of sharing your progress, sharing who you're meeting with, and worrying that someone like Fia is going to go back to his computer, make the app that same night, and steal your idea. So we teach them, like, you know, how to communicate. We teach them how to make customer calls. We teach them how to make site visits, how to talk to investors. It's all very valuable when you're trying to start a business. We tell the teams, we help them with 3 different plans. We help them with a plan on how to communicate via Twitter, a plan to validate the market, and a plan to validate the product itself. So essentially helping these teams break down what it is they're actually trying to accomplish in a way that shows them that they can get a heck of a lot more done than they think without any money whatsoever. But the one thing that all of what I just said goes for naught, has no value whatsoever if the people coming in and working on projects are not working on something that they can geek out to. I said this for the Geek Fest purpose. But what I mean is that if you are not, like, adamantly passionate about this, whether it's like the guys playing Magic downstairs, which I just heard of tonight, or, you know, graphic design or comic books or reading clubs, I don't care what it is. Like, what we need, what Saudi Arabia's entrepreneurial ecosystem needs, are more people following their passions and turning those into ventures. So I'm going to give you a couple examples of what that means. So I have a friend from college in Santa Barbara who was extremely passionate about clubbing, techno, DJs, etc. He was doing a study abroad in London, and during his time there, was attending, like, lots of concerts, etc., and was writing about this. Okay, so started a very basic music blog. No big deal, but it was something he was very passionate about. He happened to be lucky and on the front end of this whole like music blog kind of wave, and Gotta Dance Dirty is now generating over 15,000 unique hits a day. They're being asked to promote for major clubs in Miami, LA, New York, and even internationally, and they've made a business out of this. Okay, so, you know, this is the case where someone turned a kind of random radical passion into something that is now, they're sitting pretty. Let's just put it that way. The next case study here is, it's not necessarily following a passion, but it's finding something that is so cool that you're going to bring it to life no matter what. So I don't know how many of you guys went to the TEDx a couple years ago, the first one, when my buddies from FabLab spoke. But these guys are now working on a project called Plus Pool. So the idea here is to create this floating swimming pool for New York City. Okay, who does that? Okay, so these guys are graphic designers. They teamed up with an architect. They've now spent the last couple of years working with everyone from major investors to the governor of New York, I believe, the mayor of New York, and trying to lobby to get this thing in the water. They did a Kickstarter campaign. They raised 3 times more than they tried to, and they've essentially figured out that once this thing gets in the water, which I believe it will, they're going to get a fat check. Okay, so this is one of those case studies where these guys followed up with something, just an idea that was so cool they had to see happen. And I hope we're catching the sound with the girl. So where does that leave us, right? So what can we do? How can we pursue our inner geekiness or passions, as we call it, to create? Besides VentureLab, which is a valid option for anyone here. If anyone's interested in applying to VentureLab, by all means, you can contact me on Twitter, you can contact me now, I'll send you an email, etc. The applications are open, and we can go there. Or another thing that we're doing, starting next week actually, myself and a couple friends are starting an event called Dinner. And so the point of Dinner is to essentially go from the process, think of it like an experiment, okay? So there are all these stigmas surrounding what it takes to be an entrepreneur in Saudi Arabia. And we are trying to figure out to better understand those so that we can create startups that not only create a buzz, but when people around the world, let alone the kingdom, see it, they say, damn, that's cool. So what we're going to do is we will take teams, we'll take individuals, we'll go from the process of generating concepts, forming a team around the concept, turning the concept into an idea, and then essentially doing all of the 12 weeks of market research that we do in VentureLab in one day, in the form of we call it a scavenger hunt. So what I'm encouraging all of you to do here today is, if you are interested in participating in something like this, which I highly recommend, the point, another thing I didn't say is that through Dinner, we're not creating full-time startups. We're more focused on creating part-time startups. Okay? So how many of you in here have a job or are students? Okay, so no one's unemployed. Ladies? The point here is, like I said, we want to create a part-time startup. So this is an idea that you can get extremely excited about. You can see how the progress is made, and you can manage this after hours. Okay? So that's essentially all I have. If there are any questions, I'm happy to answer. Otherwise, thanks again for having me, and talk afterwards. Any questions?
Me and my friend we have a small project that we are doing. Can this help us to develop our project?
Dinner?
Yeah.
The point of Dinner is actually, VentureLab, we can talk. Dinner, you come in, clean slate, no ideas, you can come with ideas, but no ownership of those ideas.
Okay.
So if you guys aspire to be a part of a startup, then sure. But in terms of the idea you're going to work on, I can't promise that we're going to actually pursue that idea. Now, what you learn through this experience, surely you can take back with your friend and apply it.
Okay.
Does VentureLabs or use, like you said, social media, something like Kickstarter, Twitter, Facebook, to help entrepreneurs and Can they be part of the marketing?
Yeah, totally. So the question is, do we use like social media or crowdfunding for any of our efforts? So I firmly believe in using Twitter as the communication tool for startups. So a number of my friends in the States who have companies, if you go to their accounts, like, sure they're littered with fun comments, but what you're going to see is them saying, hey, I'm talking here tomorrow, just met with this architect firm today, talking with the mayor of the city, you know, and so they're showing progress. Now, like I said, what we're trying to do, and we're not forcing our teams to do this, but we're asking them to do this, is to utilize the tool Twitter to communicate themselves, because essentially, without any communication, you're not showing any progress. And as we say, if you're not showing any progress, then why the heck does an investor want to invest in you? So that's how we're using it. We're not using any crowdfunding, but it could be interesting. Little question. Oh, the logo was designed by the Kafia. Hence the
Me.
Any corrections from the VentureLab teams?
شايف لابس ازرق؟
Alright,
اللي جنبه اللي جنبه.
that's it. Thanks guys for your
First, I'd like to thank Nokia for sponsoring this event. Second, we have two competitions, and there are prizes. One at
Awesome.
Nokia's booth, the other at the workbench downstairs, where Abdullah will stand, and go compete. That's all.
Thank you.